Do I do about my car having an oil leak? So when your car, your truck, your vehicle of any kind, other than electric, obviously, um, gets an oil leak, is it a big deal? Can it be a big deal? Should it be a big deal? As long as you keep oil in it, it should not really matter, right? Well, let's see. See, because an oil leak is one of the clearest warning signs your vehicle will ever give you. A small dark circle on the driveway, a burning smell after a drive, a faint trail of smoke from the engine bay, a low reading on the dipstick. These early cues are simple to overlook, but an oil leak is never small, harmless, or inconsequential. Oil leaks always progress. Seals always dry, crack, and harden. Gaskets always shrink under heat. Small seepage always becomes active drippage. And a leak will never, under any circumstance, heal itself. It's not a cosmetic issue. This is mechanical, thermal, and chemical failure inside the engine. So when you ignore it, it becomes a chain reaction that accelerates internal wear, causing overheating, affects sensors, contaminates belts, damages ignition components, and eventually threatens the engine's ability to protect itself. So an oil leak matters more than most drivers realize. I mean, because it may affect the lubrication, the cooling, the hydraulic pressure, seal conditioning, internal cleanliness, and long-term durability. I mean, those are huge. I mean, that's a long list right there. And if we get into what are the common causes of oil leaks, not all oil leaks, but the common causes would be valve cover gaskets, oil pans gasket, timing cover gaskets, oil filter housing gasket, rear main seal, camshaft and crankshaft seals, oil cooler lines, PCV, positive crankcase ventilation system failure, oil pressure sensors, incorrect oil filter installation. There can be double gasketing, over tightening, under tightening, low quality filter to begin with. Not all filters are created equal. So just be aware of that. And, just if you have any kind of a dark spot or a drip under the vehicle, take it to the shop. Burning oil smell, same thing. Smoke from the engine bay, low oil level between changes, oil on the engine block, misfires, dashboard warning lights, any oil on the undercarriage. Because when you're driving down the road, oil may not be dripping. It may be the air pressure might be putting it all over the undercarriage of your vehicle. So before it actually drips, it can coat all kinds of stuff. And if you notice an oil leak, check your oil level. Avoid long or high-speed trips. Don't ignore your warning lights. Do not use stop leak additives. Don't do it. That's never a good idea. Pay attention to smells and smoke. Document symptoms. And then schedule a professional inspection. Again, find that shop that you love. Find that shop that you trust. Build a relationship with them. Going in, throwing keys and expecting them to just do their job without you being educated about what their job even is tends not to work out very well. And I mean, and think about trying to diagnose an oil leak. First off, it's got oil, again, the air blowing everywhere when you're driving down the road can make it look like something else is leaking. So they definitely need to clean the old oil residue so that it can reveal the fresh leak. And then, of course, they're probably going to want to put dye into it, a UV dye, and then they'll blacklight test to see where it's actually leaking from. So that means they may or may not be able to find the oil leak on your first visit. If it's super obvious, then they can find it on your first visit. But they might have to put a dye in it and send you away to drive it some more because it doesn't leak out that fast. So, but understand, I mean, when that oil gets on your transmission, mounts, your motor mounts, I mean, your undercarriage, your control arm bushings, your on and on and on. When it starts getting on rubber, it's creating a lot more cost for you, a lot more havoc on your car. They're going to inspect all the common oil leaks like we just did. We're going to do an undercarriage evaluation, and we're going to confirm everything before we do the repair. But just because we notice one thing leaking right now doesn't mean that we're noticing all things that are leaking right now. So you might have a leak. Leaks can leak in different amounts. So, because you've got seeps, you've got slow drips, you've got active leaks, you've got pressurized leaks. So, and one of the things that I used to do is, you've got a weep, a seep, and a leak. A weep is that you can see that it's got, fluid, but it's not cooling. So weep. A seep has been weeping long enough that it's attracted dirt. And a leak is a physical welling of fluid. Well, you also have, like, out of your water pump, the coolant can come out of the weep hole and then form a physical welling of fluid, but then it dries. So then it's a crust. So you can have all kinds of different leaks and all kinds of different, situations and scenarios. So, just remember, you can have falling oil levels, you can have seal degradation, you can have contamination of other components, fire risk, misfires and performance issues, catalytic converter damage, environmental impact, engine damage. I mean, you can have all kinds of stuff with an oil leak. So, can you drive with an oil leak? Yeah. Should you drive with an oil leak? No. Um, I know people that park on the street because they don't want to park in their own driveway because they don't want to contaminate their own driveway, but they have no problem contaminating the street. Is that okay? Not really. So, you got the environmental and driving factors. You got heat, cold weather, road salt, dust and dirt, stop and go driving, long highway driving, short trip driving, higher mileage vehicles. Main thing is get your oil changed super regularly. Always go into a shop that you trust, and don't go into the quick lube places. The quick lube places aren't full-blown automotive technicians. They're oil change people. They're lube people. They're not full-blown automotive technicians. Use high quality filters. So I know the only thing we know about to check on a automotive repair shop is their price. But if you're only going for price, then you're getting low quality everything. I can guarantee it, including the personnel to go along with it. High quality filters cost money. High quality oil costs money. High quality automotive technicians cost money. You got to have the positive crankcase ventilation. The PCV system, has got to be maintained. Your cooling system has got to be maintained. You got to have the routine inspections. You got to avoid the road debris and deep potholes. And, quality gasket materials, big time. So it's definitely, if you have an oil leak, it's definitely time for a professional to get involved. Don't ignore the early warning signs. Don't try and save money that ends up costing you money. That pay me now, pay me later thing works in the automotive world like no other world I've ever been. So stay safe, stay strong.